Sorry, no lo siento. Sorry, no lo siento. No lo siento. No lo siento. Sorry, no lo siento. No lo siento. No lo siento. Sorry, no lo siento.
I'm excited about today's Plática. I ain't gonna cap.
We're just different people, I guess, because I've been dreading it, kind of.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been hyped. Just because it's the one that I feel like we're the most I feel like I'm the most ready for as far as research, as far as like I put the work in for this episode.
I don't know. I'm a mixed bag on this one.
But nah, yeah, social media is, I don't know what's good with Instagram. I don't know what's good with anything. Sometimes I feel like I'm shadow banned. Sometimes I feel like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe everyone is shadow banned.
I don't know. Instagram's a whole different ballgame. Shout out to all our TikTok followers, though. Man.
TikTok is showing up. TikTok is showing up.
TikTok is a whole different beast.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ballgame over there.
I see people say that a lot. But it's interesting just how the different platforms work. Because we're like, everything was solid on IG. We're actually moving up. The numbers were going up. And out of nowhere, it went back to like if we were on episode 2. Makes no sense. I was thinking about it. And then that's when I started telling myself, like, bro, you can't look at the numbers. Like, okay, we just started. Okay, we see a few that, did cool. They did some good things. And it's like, you think that's going to be every single thing. And this is the tricky part about running media, running your own thing, is that you can't get discouraged when you just don't see the numbers reflect. The only reason I feel away is just because, again, like our trajectory was up since episode 1. Like, we seen it go up. It wasn't going backwards. And now that we got up to a certain level, and then it started going back down again, which doesn't make sense. But Instagram a beast of its own, TikTok a beast of its own. Everyone's a beast of their own, I guess.
It's just different. I feel like, because I went over on TikTok and just looked. Even the way the comments are, even how people just give you an opinion, or even just people commenting like, wow, I really liked your content. Thank you for the content. Like, you don't see that on Instagram. At least I don't. Like, it's very rare that I see that, like, real support,
Yeah. I guess it's true what they say about TikTok, that it's a discovery app.
I believe that. 100% believe that, because wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I've learned so much.
How many followers you got on there already? Like 2?
Almost 2,000. We're at 1,915 when I saw it earlier today.
Hey, ustedes que están escuchando ahorita, vayan al TikTok.
En el TikTok.
Vayan al TikTok, suscríbense, follow, share it. Just a different platform. If you guys are listening to this and you know me personally, like, I'm sorry if I don't promote, enough on my own personal page. But that's not the point. The point is not for you to get the content through my page. The point is to go to the page and get the content. So that's why, like, maybe if you guys think that reels are only posted when I post them onto my stories, then you guys are wrong. If you think reels are only happening when Nicole posts them to her story, then you guys are wrong. Like, that's why I know Lo Siento page is active basically all day, every day, and not 24/7, but it's definitely active pretty much a lot throughout the day. You're gonna see us in your stories. You're gonna see us on your feed. So we're just taking shots.
We're just taking shots. That's
Going
it.
on paisas like this. Or like this. Or like this.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, if you don't dribble between your legs and fade away. Oh, good sister. Aquí estamos.
En otro capítulo
de Sorry, no lo siento. Ooh. That was clean.
Dang.
I was like, ooh. And
are you gonna be making like sounds that people could use for their phone?
No, unless I get paid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Can't you do that? Like, can't you create sounds and get paid for it?
I mean, that sounds good. But I have to get to a point where people actually want to hear these additives. Right now, it's just like, bro, shut up. Bro, be quiet.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who's watching. I don't know who's lurking. I don't know who's out there in the internet verse looking at what we're doing
In the metaverse.
Yeah, because I don't have time to keep up with all that. And I like that I'm in this mindset of because before, even after, I knew that I have to start getting onto social media. I knew that I had to start doing video and everything like that. And I always thought to myself like I always dreaded. I always kind of dreaded it too. Like, okay, I don't the commentary. Regardless if I have tough skin, it's just when you get them comments, it's gonna hit a certain type of way sometimes. If they start dissing you, start making fun of you. But then now, just I processed a lot of just the media, social media, and that's just the game. Now it's just like comment. I don't care if you diss me, support me, whatever. If you took the time to hate comment on it, then thank you, because you actually took the time to go on our page. You took the time to view the video, whatever it is, read the caption, get triggered.
Yeah.
Thank you for the energy. We appreciate it. All hate, good hate. I mean, all bad hate. I don't care.
I'm like, let me send it back.
Yeah. That's the thing too. I don't want to send it back. I told you, I'm tunnel vision right now. I'm in my own lane. I don't see nobody on the highway. And we're just gonna keep shifting gears. Yeah, I don't know where the exit's at. But what's good with you? How you been? How you feeling?
Oh, it's been an interesting week preparing for this Plática.
We'll get into it, but man, like, I don't know, I guess.
I don't like I just don't like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for the sake of this
episode,
I did.
We didn't have to do it. I told you we figured something else out. We could have done it a way where you didn't have to watch it either, but
oh no, trust. I didn't watch the whole thing. I fast forwarded through a lot of that but we'll get into that. I did ask my mom. I did talk to my mom. She says hi. I talked to her today. And she was like, oh, you guys are recording? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, that's great. ¿Cómo está Chris? Bien. But other than that, it's been good. Oh, great week. Like business-wise, shout out to my clients. Like 3 appointments this week.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So, and then workshop's going well. Prepping for the new week of the workshop. I'm going to offer a group Reiki session. I'm just pivoting everywhere.
Don't get burnt out.
No, that's the great thing about it, is that I really just went through and just for my calendar, it's just certain days and certain times. That's it. The workshop, I already have everything done for the workshop, so that's cool. And then the group Reiki is something that I just really want to do. So, and I enjoy that. Like, I love doing Reiki. Like, I don't get burnt out doing that.
Do you
at all?
Do you feel like you're healing with Nicole on Sorry No Lo Siento, or no?
I think so, yeah.
Or you think you're just Nicole on Sorry No Lo Siento?
No. I think I'm definitely healing with Nicole on Sorry No Lo Siento. Well, I am healing with Nicole.
Right. But you know what I mean? Like,
we're not talking about tarot or nothing like that or Reiki on here, but then I'm just me.
Yeah, I feel you. Sometimes I feel like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to really be healing with Nicole on here like that. Like, you can, but it's it's a more censored version of. Is it really though? Like, I don't think what you do is really that burnt. I don't think it's really that, like conspiracy stuff is different. It's kind of that's more impactful. That's more triggering. But your stuff is more angelic. It's more soft. It's sweeter. It's easier to market. It's that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I was looking at it more from a conspiracy spiritual aspect. But I was thinking about myself because I'm am I OB Chris on here, and I think I'm a little fraction of it. A fraction of it.
Yeah. I feel you. I think I'm like 50-50 because I'm still me. Like, this is me. I'm just choosing. Obviously, we don't cuss on here, so I don't cuss.
But that's difficult for me. That was hard.
Today I get myself in a mode before we pod But I'm like, okay, how do I feel? How do I feel about this? How's the energy? Da, da, da. And I'm like, am I gonna cuss this episode because I really feel passionate about something? Like, okay, try to not cuss.
I mean, you
if
can,
possible.
though.
I mean, I know, but it's just, I don't know. I thought these are the things I go through in my mind. You know,
before I never tripped because like if I cuss because I was like, oh, whatever, you just edit it out. But then I'm like, I don't want to keep editing every
that exactly.
But in the beginning, it was hard because I try to say I try to cuss more often. It happened more often. Now it's like 1-2 an episode, and those happen really just organically, and sometimes it just slip. But I even when I do OB now, when I have done those, it's hard for me to cuss on there now too. I censor myself, and they catch me when I do it. Like, oh, you were gonna say that? Huh? I'm like, yeah, I was. But I'm just already in, which I think is on the overall. I think it's good for my actual just media personality because.
I think so. I think it's good.
Because I mean, cussing is just a crutch sometimes. A lot of times, really. Saying SHIT for just in place of just an item or something, it's so easy. It's like it's so easy to say FUCK for everything, really. For any yelling, being mad, being happy. It's easy. It's an easy way out. So I have to challenge myself.
Yeah.
Change.
Yeah. Yeah, change is something. But I don't judge people who cuss or anything like that either.
No, I love it. It adds character.
It does.
Yeah. Especially when you like, that's the thing. Like, I think when you cuss, when you barely cuss, is more impactful. Because when you do it all the time, like I hate when people always say the F word before everything, or effing this, or I gotta effing go to the mall. It's like, bro, you don't gotta cuss after every other sentence, bro. Like, dang. But there's people out there that their just vocabulary isn't strong enough, so that's how they communicate.
That use the F word like a comma in a sentence.
That's facts. No, that's definitely what it is. That's definitely what they do. But yeah, I mean, I have had my week's been pretty. It hasn't. Good? Yeah, actually has been. It's been good. You know, work's kind of. I'm getting over the fact that I can't control like just work situations no more, and I don't want to no more. So like, just going to work and just showing up and existing and working and just. I'm doing the best I can and keeping it moving. Like, it's so much peaceful than trying to, I need this, I need that. Oh, yeah, I gotta do this. Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm super cool. So, you know, we're, and just really setting into, the flow of the show of this. Like, making production part of my schedule. A lot of the things are becoming part of my day. And now, honestly, I don't feel, before, I used to hate, like, not going, I mean, I used to hate when I would just be home all the time sometimes. Like, I would find excuses to go out, whether it be link up with people to smoke, whether it go be, you know, visit my tia, visit this. But now, any free time I do have, we in the studio editing. Like, we in here editing. And that is so much. Like, yesterday was my day off. I was in the studio, at 8 a.m. I didn't get out till like 5, 6 p.m. And just doing reels and learning new things. Like, yeah, there's a lot of things that I be teaching myself that I be like, I just wish I had more time, though, to learn the other things that I want to do. But because it takes time to learn a skill for like to do a little effect or something, that I'm wasting 2-3 hours just learning that, where I could have been doing content those 3 hours, you know? So shout out to everyone tapping in and all the social medias, man. I really enjoy just making the content for the show, and I admire it. I go on there, I'm just like, damn, this is my work. This is dope. This looks dope. And yeah, videos are always gonna get better. Reels are always gonna get better. Things are always gonna get better. But I'm so happy at the way our stuff looks right now. Like, y'all don't even understand. Like, everything fuego, everything heat, everything is coming along so peacefully.
So nice.
Yeah. Like I said on the change, man, I'm trying to change a lot of things around. Not even it's not really so much I'm trying to change things about me. It's more so things around me. So I feel those. I'm like, how do you say? I'm like, how do you say it? I'm setting things in place.
In motion.
Yeah, before the big change comes. So new mindset, new everything, new way of approaching just this. Yeah, I'm really in my bag now. Like, I can officially say that I'm in my bag and I'm not distracted no more. I know this is what I want to do. I know this is what I want. And like, by now, at this point, Nicole, people are starting to see what we're doing, and they're going to continue to see what we're doing. And now they're going to start coming to just be part of this world.
I feel like now people are starting to take us seriously.
For sure.
I feel like now, not saying that we've always taken this seriously, but I just noticed now that
they see that we take it serious. This ain't play over here, man. Same play.
No.
I don't want to make this a potting, a segment again, but
Right.
but
right.
it's not. It's different on this side. Like it really is. Like I don't. Like I
It's
said, no one's on
different.
no one's on our lane, Nicole. No one's in our lane.
We just.
But yeah, bienvenidos a otro capítulo de Sorry, no lo siento. Soy tu
Hi.
host, Cristóbal X Mateo, con mi compañera, Nicola Curandera.
With Nicole. Hey, that's funny.
Hey, mi compañera, Nicola Curandera. Hey.
Then people are gonna start hitting me up for curandera stuff,
But
and I'll be like, you know what?
That's different. I thought that's curandera just being
It's
a healer
different.
still, no?
It's different though. It's a different title. You can't just slap that on yourself. That's just my
feel
view.
you.
Just because everybody on the internet.
To me, it's just like caretaker. It's a different, like the word like shaman, that holds like has more like a stronger feel to me. Like a curandera, just to me, it just sounds like you're saying caretaker in Spanish, which anybody could be a caretaker, really.
Yeah, but it's different. It's not caretaker. Maybe we should have a whole segment on that word before you. Antes que ofendas.
A las curanderas.
Yeah. Yeah, los curanderos.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just ancient people that heal you, that have old practices.
But they're passed down from generations and preserving.
Right. So a lot of your skills and methods are learned like you learned them yourself. It wasn't passed down. So that's why you wouldn't call yourself a curandera?
It's just because I haven't received that training.
But why do you feel comfortable calling yourself a healer?
Because I practice Reiki and I also offer other services. But I think but that's in a modality that I've taken the courses and read all these books, still doing education, still practicing, still doing the exploration. I mean, I dabble in other things, but I just don't share it on social media because I don't feel that I'm ready to share that yet because I'm still learning. You got people out here who will be like, I'm an herbalist, but they just, read a recipe on Google and think that that's it. Like there's more to it.
Recipe on Google. Huh. Huh.
Yeah.
A recipe on Google. Yeah, I need a recipe for like some good salsa para las enchiladas.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom makes it good, but I'll be trying my own. I get in my little bag, but I don't cook enough to where I get a consistent method of doing things. So every time it's always, okay, I needed more of this. I needed more of that. Well, I put too much of this. And it's always something it's never right. It gets me mad. I don't want to cook.
Calma.
Cooking is for poor people. Just kidding.
No, it's not. Wow. Do you hear
I
him?
wish I enjoyed cooking enough because if I did, I would make content all day cooking. What?
Oh, I like cooking.
I'm gonna have the camera right there, everything.
Be like, hey
Especially
guys,
if you do it every day.
today.
Like I already have to do this. I'm just gonna record it. Might as well throw that out. Let me get them little pennies from YouTube. From my YouTube. Let me see. How do I want to come in here today, Nicole? What vibes do I want to give them today? Let me see. I had what I wanted to play earlier, but I totally forgot. Yeah, this Plática is, the only reason I'm excited about this Plática is because it's going to introduce us to this style of Plática. And we haven't given you guys a style of Plática. And, yeah. So before we get into today and trigger some people, let's get the vibes going. Yo, welcome to Sorry, no lo siento. Bienvenidos. Gracias por estar aquí.
Otro capítulo. Hey.
Let's go. Acomódense, let's go. Sí, señor. Shout out the girlies out there because they're going crazy. But shout out to the queen. The original queen.
Yes.
I appreciate everybody tapped in right now. You can be anywhere in the world, but you're right here listening to Sorry, No Lo Siento. It's a new week. It's a new Tuesday. If you listen in the morning, shout out to you. At night, shout out to you. Anywhere you at, shout out to you. Any time of the day, shout out to you. Shout out to all the followers. We're going to stay in this bag today. I feel like reggaetoni today. I don't know. Let's go. Chris X Matt album coming one day.
Facts.
I just like playing with the idea because I'm serious. I'm serious about it doing one day. I'm not in a rush to do it. It's not gonna happen next year. But yes, one day it will happen. So I'm just throwing it into the atmosphere because
Why not?
Let's make it a thing.
Yeah, I've been saying it.
That's true. They don't know though. Sí, señor. Eventually I'll get better with that. Bienvenidos mi gente a otro capítulo de Sorry No Lo Siento. I appreciate everybody tapped in today listening to us because we got a conversation for you guys. We have a plática for you guys que is gonna be triggering for some, so you can stop it here if you want. You can skip to the meme del día, video del día, palabra del día. You can do all the fun stuff at the end. But the next hour we will be an hour or so we will be discussing Jeffrey Dahmer. Bienvenidos a la plática de Jeffrey Dahmer. The first of many, not serial killer ones, but the first of many people. So don't be surprised if you guys one day get la plática de Selena, la plática de Drake, la plática de Bad Bunny, la plática de El Pope. La plática, El Pope will be good though because that has a big hold on our community. I guess it's a talk real quick, right?
I wanted to just bring up something that you had brought up last week. So I'm just going to talk about it now before we dive into this plática. So you had asked me last week if I knew whether my mom and dad had a talking phase. So this is just really short, recalentado, real quick.
Yeah, my bad.
So I talked to my mom and I asked her if her and my dad had a talking phase. And so what she said is that she had met my dad, some friends of hers, and some were friends with some of my dad's friends. They met at the beach And she was like, oh, and we'd all go out as friends, like group stuff. And I was like, okay, so well, how long were you like talking to dad though? And she was like, well, he would come to my house. And because in Nicaragua, like people come to the house and like there's like always like in la sala or like the front room. Like in Nicaragua in the front, there's like these rocking chairs. Like a lot of people have that in the front of their house. So you could just chill outside and talk. Yeah. So she was like, tu papá venía and he would come as my friend to talk to me.
Should have been like, ¿qué están haciendo? ¿Hablando de qué?
And she was just like, they would just talk. And obviously like my grandma would be there. The family would be there. And so I was like, so how long did that go on before you and dad were officially boyfriend, girlfriend? And she said it was a few months.
I'm telling you, everyone has a talking stage. I thought you were like, they just can't just happen. Unless, I mean, I can see that back in the day when like, okay, you're going to marry my daughter. That's different. That's a little bit different, but I doubt I don't know why in my head I just assumed your mom didn't come from that. So I'm like, there had to be some type of talking stage.
Right. So that's how.
Shout out to Mama Nicole, man. I can't wait to one day meet her. I'm like,
yeah.
Sorry, lo siento. But yeah, mija, that's a good heat up. Did I have anything to heat up? Oh, yeah, real quick. I wanted to heat up because last week we talked about change, but we didn't talk about how people hate change, even in like smaller things, right? Like people hate change so much that they hate when their favorite team, like the player changes teams. When their favorite band breaks up, their favorite music group breaks up. They hate when, they're watching a show on every Friday and they switch it to like Thursdays. They hate that. Like everyone just hates any type of change, really. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, we didn't even address the simplest of things. Like people hate every type of change.
They just like the inconvenience.
That's a plática we need to have. That's a plática we need to have. Inconvenience. Because man,
let me write that down.
Man, that's so relevant in my life right now too. Inconvenience.
Noted.
See, I like when pláticas get inspired. We said we're gonna do one random one a month, and we haven't. But that's a good thing though, because I think
that's because we're really inspired right now. We're just, pushing limits and boundaries.
Yeah. And then eventually we'll have the social media one because I want to talk about how like the emotions you get. Everyone knows about it, but I really want it's so relevant to us right now. So I want to speak about how we're so into this right now because we're seeing it do something.
I think it helps.
It does help.
It helps. It's like, oh, this is so
nice. My goal is to make this so big, Nicole, this podcast specifically so big that it benefits Healing with Nicole brand on its own. And it benefits Overly Blunt brand on its own, it's
all beneficial.
Yeah. Well, we can come to this little world and talk about our own personal world. You get me? Like it's
and just expansion.
Yeah, I want it to benefit. Yeah. I'm just I'm have so many ideas. Yes. And those people. Never mind. Let's get into
continue.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to hit up though. Wasn't nothing crazy. Shout out to everyone that's been tapping in on the episodes. If you guys have a plática, if you're hearing this and you really have a plática on mind, I'm not gonna say we're gonna do it, but just reach out to us and give us a topic. Me and Nicole have an idea soon. I think we might be doing once a week as well. That we're gonna open the floor up more to the our audience or our listeners or whoever really wants to just tap in with us. Because that's why I want to talk about social media though, Nicole. Because just going on live be so. It scares me. Because I need to see the validation, and I hate saying that, but I'm being honest. I can't see one person in the live. Like, I'd rather just FaceTime you. Okay. But look, okay. I want to start off by saying prefacing.
Prefacing.
There you go.
Got you.
I want to start this episode by prefacing the fact that it might be triggering to some, it might not be to others. Some might enjoy it. Some might just really just be in it because be here because it's trending and you want to hear our opinions and thoughts about it. I think it's gonna be a good plática just for the simple fact that me and Nicole on totally separate spectrums of the plática, which I think that makes the best type of potting. When people are disagree is the best type of potting in my opinion. And so just trigger warning. We're gonna speak about survivors. We're gonna speak about just a lot of the things that were happening, not in detail. So don't get scared. We're not gonna go in detail like that. But we're just gonna talk more about all the different angles that came from this project or this series or whatever you want to call it, right?
Correct.
But the person we're gonna be talking about today is Jeffrey Dahmer. I also want to say that I'm not here to humanize this person. I'm not here to, regardless of my thoughts, because I'm going to be on a different side than Nicole. I'm not here to justify and say it's okay to do what he does or no. There's so many people out here that have a bad walk, that come from unhealthy walks of life that are not, then they didn't go to that extent. So I'm not going to justify it, right? I'm not doing that. But I'm going to have my triggering points because I'm going to make it racy. I'm going to take that angle because we'll get into it, but this wouldn't be highlighted. A serial killer wouldn't be highlighted if it was a person of color. It'll be more like it's a criminal, it's terrorizing, all this stuff. So,
right,
we'll get into that point later on in the Plática. But I'm just trying to say this because I'm not taking sides. I'm not here trying to justify killings or nothing like that at all. Or people that are into this is weirdo, psycho. Cannibalism, all that stuff. Nah, I'm not. No. Nah. But I guess we'll start with this. I am American. I'm from America, and I fall victim a lot to what the mainstream media wants us to engage in.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, FOMO. Not even FOMO. Like I hear it be a thing. I want to hear. Not even because that's a lame excuse because we don't. This pod isn't really about it. We don't take that angle on this pod. Like, this pod isn't just like, oh, I heard this, so I'm a pod about it. That's I do that on OB where okay, this everyone's talking about this, so we'll talk about it here. But this show,
right?
That's the reason why we did it the way we did it, so we didn't have to keep up with the relevant trending topics. But also, we are a podcast, we are a business, and we know this is what's relevant right now.
Right.
So I told Nicole, let's have this Plática about him because we haven't done one about people, and I think this would be a good just introduction. It didn't have to be him, but because it's relevant again, let's do it. And again, let me go back to I'm American. I fall for all this stuff, right? So I wouldn't say that I'm fetishizing serial killers because I think it's sick, but I think I am fascinated by hearing the story. I'm fascinated because maybe I didn't live it. I'm not a victim. I don't have any emotional attachment. So to me, it's purely entertainment. But I can understand how that angle can offend people that actually did live it, that it was real life for them. It was their reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I guess I'm guilty of enjoying the series. Because I don't want to start with that because before I even get into our own personal opinions, I think we should shed light on just the survivors from the series and just give you guys a little bit of background of what I found out based off research of where they're at presently, some of them that we have information about, what happened to them after all that, so before I get into the victims, anything you want to start it off with?
Well, I wanted to preface with that I was not trying to watch it. I was like, And then, you had made some valid points. Like, if we're going to have a plática about this, you have to have at least some kind of get your feet wet a little bit with what people are watching. Mm-hmm. And, in 1991, I was in first grade. I had heard about this person. I didn't, I guess because I was young, I didn't know the details of it and how gruesome it was. I just knew he had killed people. And growing up, the phrase, Jeffrey Dahmer was a charming man, beware.
That was really a thing back in the day?
That was like a thing that I've heard. People be like, well, Jeffrey Dahmer was a charming man. Be careful. And I will say this. I noticed that on certain episodes, and we'll get into it, or parts that I did actually fully watch, I was triggered to an extent because it actually, and I didn't realize it was going to do this, there were 2 instances where it took me back to 2 separate events that I lived through. And I was just like, whoa, that really just took me back to a situation and just making me think about, wow, this situation could have really ended in a bad way. But yeah,
Are you gonna share that later?
I'm gonna share that later.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Yeah,
Please don't forget, because
I won't forget
okay.
when yeah,
because I think because I'm hearing your reaction to this in real time right now, as well as whoever's listening to this. This is the first time I'm hearing Nicole's thoughts about the thing. I knew you didn't want to really do it. I knew you didn't want to watch it, but thank you. You gave into the name of content, so I appreciate that, because I'm just shows me that you take SNLS serious. So thank you.
I do. Yeah.
And you were gonna tell me. You told me something yesterday, but you're like, I'm not gonna really tell you too much. But man, and I knew what you were talking about. So I just want to know. I can't wait to hear your reactions to it, but just don't forget, because
I have I have it all.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how do we start, Nicole? How do we start with the victims? Tracy Edwards. Let's start with Tracy Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Edwards is the one that you see on the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
That escaped from Dahmer. I don't know if it played out exactly how the series showed it, but on the show it showed it that he escaped. He was all he was like, I think he was running. Was he drugged up already, or he was just running? He ran outside just in his underwear, or he was drugged up.
He was already
drugged up.
Drugged. Yes.
And he ran into the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brought the cops. He brought the cops back to the Jeffrey Dahmer's place, and that's the night that Jeffrey Dahmer gets arrested, caught up for, they find all the stuff in his apartment. So the first episode basically is the end of his run. Mm-hmm. They started off like that, and then basically the rest of the show is him in trial and then breaking down the facts and reliving the moments. But Tracy Edwards, okay, he escaped. He was the reason why I guess Dahmer did get arrested, but I don't know. People, look, I'm pretty sure by now when the series came out, people have gone and looked into to see what parts are real and which ones are not, and see who is real and who is not. But if you guys don't know, Tracy Edwards, after he escaped, let me see, he is now coming out. I don't know if he's getting on board with everyone that's suing the show, because I think he picked up an attorney as well, and his attorney saying that he hasn't been the same since that's happened. Which I kind of, believe. But, okay, so before Tracy Edwards, this is tricky, Nicole, because he's a victim, but I want to speak about even his past before that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to say what he did in his past made it, justifies what Dahmer was trying to do to him, right? But this person, before, when was this? Let me see. Hold on. I'm sorry. He was indicted for a sexual battery of a 14-year-old. And this was 2000. No, this was 88. So this is before Dahmer. At the time, this is the crazy part, because Tracy Edwards at the time, after he got Dahmer arrested, or he got him caught up, he was conceived as a hero, or he's perceived as a hero, right? To a lot of people, like, wow, you did that. And I think that high and that value, that pedestal only lasted like 15 minutes, I think. Right. And after all that, obviously everyone, life continues, and you can't always just milk the situation, and that sounds crazy to say, but it's true. So I guess he went home. He became homeless as well, and in 2011 he was arrested. He was arrested for throwing a man off a building. Or he was accused of throwing a man off a building. Mm-hmm. And that victim's name was Johnny Jordan. Yeah, he was charged with homicide, but pled guilty to aiding a felon, so he was sentenced to 1.5 years. And I guess it was alleged that he threw him out, but I guess because they were drunk and something happened, and they were wrestling or something, and that's how he justified it. But he threw him off a bridge, and people that were driving down the bridge saw what happened, and that's how it looked like. So he said it wasn't like that, but that's how it looked like. So, yeah, and he just kept committing more crimes after the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, and I can, like, after that, can you really step back into normality? Like, can you? Is it possible to just continue with the job, continue. Like I can see addiction becoming part of some, like just after 100%. That. I can see, 100%. Yeah, alcohol being part of your everyday life, which all that's gonna contribute to violence, robbing, theft, and that's what he was getting arrested for basically up until 2011. He was just a little petty theft.
And he was homeless, so he was probably, he was doing that more than likely to survive.
And probably not remind himself of.
And I think that this also highlights how victims of violent crimes don't get support. The system fails them in that way. Where was the therapy? Where was the, where was that support? And it's unfortunate because in our communities, it's already kind of frowned upon to go get mental help or seek mental help or go to therapy.
Yeah.
And now you have this traumatic experience. And he was, he's this hero, but he also dealt with like a very traumatic event. And if he didn't have the proper support, then he just fell through the cracks.
And that's basically what happened. So can you blame him or you blame the system? Or because at the same time, even if the system doesn't help you, right? You don't think he should have feel the need to go seek help? Or you don't think he processes it? You don't think what happened to him is that big of a deal? That he's processing it, that this is so traumatic, that's really affecting how I continue living?
Well, I think that there's a lot of people who want help, but finding free help.
That's true.
Is still a problem today because there may be free resources, but you might have to be on a waiting list for that free resource. It might be a few months before you get someone. So people lose hope. It's like, oh, no one's ever calling me.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to pay out of pocket, it's so costly that they can't afford that.
Yeah, that's true.
So those are some.
And in our communities, it's really like our moms ain't trying to hear us complain a lot either. Our people around you ain't really trying to complain.
Or they just don't know how do you expect someone to help you when they can't even begin to fathom what you experienced?
That's true.
That's
see off top the judge or the city or the whatever. I know they're not looking for our best interest, but off top that should have been a given. Like, if you're not giving any money to these victims, then why not just give them the free help? Send them to an actual good place to get therapy. But then it goes into, if they do that, you think that individual will still take the help?
That's a hard.
That's a hard one.
And the reality is, no amount of money is going to, because restitution and things like that exist, where there are victim compensation boards throughout the country that, if you're a victim, they'll try to see how much money you're going to get. But in reality, does the money does it heal you?
The money doesn't heal you at all. And I think sometimes even after experiencing all that trauma and giving a large amount of money, you might even go down the same path of becoming homeless faster, because you're trying to just, how do you say, mask the pain away, mask the trauma away, really.
I mean, this is kind of it's unrelated, but look at how many veterans are homeless.
Yeah.
How much trauma they experience.
Yeah.
And they're,
yeah. Tracy Edwards, though, I guess hasn't been seen since the last time people knew about his whereabouts was 2015.
Wow.
So if he hasn't popped up after this show has came out, he's probably, I'm assuming,
Who knows where or.
Yeah, probably though. If they don't know his whereabouts, because even if he was locked up in jail and you knew all this Dahmer stuff was coming out, give me my cut. Give me my cut. Run it up.
But there's a lot of people who are homeless who become transients, who travel, who end up somewhere else, who, they
don't want to relive it by tapping back into it. Give me my money, huh?
Why? That's the other. Why relive that experience? Or, I hope that he's okay. But if,
but I don't want to get into like numbers and all that, right? But you know when he escaped, you know what day Tracy Edwards escaped? July 22nd. See that, and that's why when I see certain like that stuff, Nicole, when I see that, that's I don't want to get into it, but that's why I don't, that's why I enjoy this content, because it's like, who knows of what really happened, right? Who knows if these people see? If I don't even want to say that though, because then that's when people like, what, they never existed. You don't think they're real, blah blah blah. But that's why little dates like that to throw in there. And look, the girl that instead the girl that got it, that he indicted for sexual battery is 14, right? Like it's just little hints that maybe I'm just reaching myself, but that's the only reason I raise an eyebrow. That I'm kind of like, But Tracy Edwards, man, shout out to you for getting this guy locked up. Because who knows how long it would have kept going if you didn't. Because 91, obviously, he's dead. I was gonna say he's alive, right? But yeah, he probably would still be alive right now if no one ever caught him up. All right, this next victim, survivor, is I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but it's Samsak Synthesmome. I know I'm butchering that, but I'm just gonna say Samsak. Somsack. And this is the Pacific Islander in the show.
They were Laotian.
I'm sorry, Laotian. Yeah. Which is Pacific Islander, no? Or yeah.
I don't know. That's a whole. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Classified as that.
So he was the brother of the one that got killed. So the older brother, the one that you saw in the show, that he escaped from the grandma's house. Was it grandma's house? Yeah, it was the grandma's house, huh? He escaped from the grandma's house and he went back home, and his parents were like, "What's wrong with you?" He was all drugged up already. He was all drugged up, and he told his parents that he was drugged up and he was gonna get abused and everything like that. And that was the first time that Jeffrey Dahmer got arrested. I believe so. It was the first time that he went in because he was sentenced to 1 year, but not even 1 year in jail. He was sentenced to 1 year of work release camp and 5 years of probation, and had to register as a sex offender. And again, I don't want to make it racy, but that's a pow pow. Papa la mano. Papa la mano. That's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
It's just like, wow.
But then in the show, his brother is the one that gets picked up by Jeffrey Dahmer too. And the brother knew who he was with. He knew that he was the person that tried to kill his brother and tried to drug up his brother. And this is why, like, Nicole, can we talk about that? Nicole, can we talk about that? Don't sit.
Let me sip my beverage.
Nicole.
I just, when I watched that, I was just like,
Nicole.
Like, because he even said, I know who you are. And I was just like, oh my Lord.
And he said, what? He did all that? I was just trying to take pictures and he overreacted. He was too drunk. Bro, you saw your bro when he got home. He was not drunk.
I was just like, but he said his family needed the money.
But do you think that's really true, or you think that was just part of like they put in the show to make it entertain, like an entertainment part of it?
So I will say this: I didn't do a lot of research. I did read an article where there was like a woman who had written a book, or she had done the original interview.
Yeah,
and she said that a lot of things on the show were embellished or not necessarily
dramatized.
Correct. They were not factual. It's not like they followed it to the T.
No, I'm aware of that, but I didn't look into too much of the specifics.
Right, I didn't either. And then I don't know if that was just to give this exact reaction as you're watching it, like, why are you there? That's what he did to your brother, like, because I was just like, like that was a lot, and
that was. But see, that goes back to my point, Nicole, of who you more mad at, the kid or Dahmer? When the kid knows, it don't justify. But this when I say who you more mad at, that's what I mean. It's not. Don't people take it like for the messaging and all. Like, who you more mad at when the person that scams, the one that gets scammed, the one that's hurting people's feelings, the one that's not getting hurt. Like, it's just who you more mad at if especially when you have the information.
But then we're talking about a child too, and an adult who should know better. That's
true.
And a child who is gullible.
Super gullible. He said he need money for his family. Was trying to give him $20 for some pictures. Like, what? Was it 20 or 100? Regardless,
it was 100, but he was only giving him X amount first, and then after the fact. And I was just like, no, that was just.
I don't want to laugh, but yeah.
And then the other thing is that I was on TikTok and I sent it to you about Ron, the other survivor, Ron Flowers.
Hold on. We'll get there. You want to jump already?
Yeah.
You want to jump?
Yeah.
I'll go for it.
So because I didn't do any research or look into anyone, but it came up on the feed on TikTok. And
can I close out? I'm sorry. Can I close out the last victim before I get into it? Because I just want to say real quick. In real life, the family did go to the police of the Samsak's parents.
They did.
How do you say it? Laotians?
They're Laotian.
Laotians. They went to the police, the Milwaukee Police Department, and because after the son died, because one escaped and then one died. After the second son died, they were upset because they didn't hold up what they said they were going to do to protect after they knew what he did to their son. So. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying money justifies, the situation, but all the police department did was to brush it on the rug. They just gave him $150,000. I mean, $850,000, not even $1 million. And so far since the show's been out, there's been no comments from the family. And allegedly, he's now married and living in Wisconsin with his wife, living a private life. That's all we know from them.
Well, my uncle, he's from Laos, and that's that. I don't think that any family, no matter what your ethnic background is, would want people bothering you. Like, I would definitely try to just disappear and no comment. Like, especially when they had not just one tragedy, but two in their family.
I bet you it's not even them that the victims that are really suing. I bet you there's attorneys that see what's going on. They reach out to them like, yo, you can make a buck from this.
And let me get this.
Because they want to get something too, but then they kind of make them relive it. But imagine these families don't even really want to tap in, but they have some type of attorney that would just like, you right, I need my money. Let's just give it a go.
I think that money is an avenue that, you don't have these comforts. This was taken away from you. At least, that it's always worded and presented as this, hey, you can have this though.
Like it's the only type of compensation you can get, huh?
Right.
Like, what about emotional compensation? What about trauma compensation? Like, all this stuff I need to compensate.
Yeah, it's just like,
53.
But no one is. That's where, but a lot of people are like, okay, well, I guess we'll get the money, but.
And that's sad because I think that's how they get us every time with the money.
Yeah, and it's for them. It's just signing a check. Oh, our bad. Here,
850, nothing. That's your tax money, anyways. Here,
right? Exactly. You're welcome. That's all it is.
All right. RIP to the brother. I mean, what's the brother's name? I'm sorry. Let me see. The brother's name is
Conorak, I think it was.
Yeah, Conorak. Yep. Mm-hmm. So RIP to him, and thoughts and prayers to Samsak, and keep enjoying your life, bro. I know you're not hearing this, but if you ever do, if it comes across you, stay private, man. Forget the internet. Yeah. Stay doing what you do. Stay low key. If you
happy.
If you made that 850 flip, then shout out to you, man, for real. Yeah. Okay, Ron Flowers, Nicole. I'm sorry. Let's go.
Oh, no. I just wanted to say that I saw that video on TikTok that I sent to you. I don't know if you saw it.
Which one again?
Ron Flowers. I sent you the video earlier.
Today?
Yeah, I texted it to you, but you probably didn't see it. But he was on a show. He was on like a true crime show, and he was like telling his version of what happened. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, wow.
Can I play it real quick? Want me to play it? The video?
If you want to play it, yeah.
Let me see. It's the one with the like the club thing. It's like a club background, right?
I think so.
All right, here it goes.
I call her karma. She
That's-
eats your heart out.
So people are bringing up that song.
Oh my gosh.
So that's one. The next.
Oh, that wasn't what you sent me?
I sent you 2 videos.
All right, here it goes. Is this one right here? So real quick, preface the video, Nicole, before I play it.
The video it came up on TikTok. It's a true crime. It's the actual survivor sharing, like reliving the experience. And so listener discretion is advised.
Oh, so it's Ron Flowers himself. Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right, let me see.
My next memory was waking up in the hospital.
You can hear?
I knew that he had drugged me. I couldn't figure out why. I was just surprised to be alive. All of my muscles hurt. And there was a ligature mark around my neck. This is the hardest part to talk about. I looked down and I noticed that my underwear were inside out. And when the thing that set me over the edge was when I looked closer, I saw blonde hair on the inside of my clothing. It was a human head hair.
What?
It was a nightmare. It was devastating.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, and I just
But you know he really
he was on the show, he's talking about it, but I just, if you hear his voice or you see his reaction, how he's thinking back and reliving it.
But who are you more mad at? Why is he reliving that moment, Nicole? Because she's getting paid for that moment.
I think though, so I was thinking about a lot of things about this show and this person. And I don't know if we're going to jump into that, but
Wait, what person? Jeffrey Dahmer?
yeah, I just don't want to say his name because I just don't feel like we need to keep repeating it over and over. That's just for my preference. But I just feel that his behavior for people like younger, because it's a lot of young people watching this, because obviously they didn't grow up hearing about him or even know who he was. But I think there are some aspects of his behavior that, for example, drugging someone. That used to be, I don't go to the clubs and the bars as much, but that used to be a very, hey, be careful. Make sure you cover your drink when you go to the bar. Make sure that you get your drink and not accept a drink from a stranger. You know, that's been a big topic on the social media platforms.
Yeah.
Is talking about, you know, a beverage and protecting yourself and this and that. So there are some things that have come from the show that have brought awareness, although it has been quite triggering for people, you know, but.
Yeah, so you think it's actually scared people to just be more wary about when they're out and about. Yeah, I think so too. I seen a lot of more people saying, like just watch out now. I seen a taco meme, I think, that said if this person offered you tacos, would you take it? And then the comments were like, no, after Jeffrey Dahmer, nah, blah blah. And it's like, damn, okay, it's bringing awareness for sure.
Perspective too. A perspective in like how people are so trusting, but then it could be like, oh, now they're instilling this fear in people too.
Oh, that's true. That is true. But I think I always say there's a brainwashing. It has such a negative connotation to it, but I think it's because we're not brainwashed in a positive way. But see, that's a good way to brainwash people. Like, you shouldn't. That's like you shouldn't take, yes, bro, scare everybody like this. Don't take nothing from no one you don't know. That's just plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. But I think that was like highlighted, like, because, you know, he was always in the show at the bar. Oh, I'll get the drinks. And that was his opportunity to be like, hold on, let me do this.
Not to go back to the, you know, I keep wanting to say Pacific Islander, but when he saw the bubbles in his drink.
Yeah. But
was it him? I think it was him.
There also in the beginning, he was like, what is this? And he's like, what's in my cup?
And I get it's a show, but I wonder if in real life, if he had more people that were like I wonder if there would have been more victims if more people fell for it. You get me?
Yeah.
Because I wonder if, like, in the show, obviously they're gonna fall for it, right? But I wonder if in real life, if he did have those people that were like, bro, and I'm not drinking, because if someone was trying to, like, yo, drink it, come on, chug it, like, I'd be like, bro, relax, like, why do I want to chug it so bad? My antennas would go up. But in the show, obviously, it's not gonna happen. So I wonder in real life what his success rate really was. That's like, no, to pull the people. Like, I wonder if he had more rejection than he had people saying
success.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one, huh? Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, good for them. They're still alive.
Right. It's like the in the show, right, when he and then when he's dissecting the pig, remember? And he wants to take it home, and he tells the guy, like, yo, you want to come over? And the dude's like, nah.
As someone who studied a lot, I studied a lot of science, and I did dissect certain animals. I never too. Like, who has the urge to really take one home? But I know for the show and everything, it's just, yeah,
like, I'm not carrying this all day in my backpack, bro. It's gonna smell. No way.
No.
What did you dissect growing up?
A squid.
Same.
Cow heart.
Same.
Cow eye.
Same. That was it for me. And a frog.
Frog. And then I was in like an advanced physiology, and I actually dissected a cat.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Schools don't do that anymore, huh?
I have no idea.
I don't think they do. I think PETA put an end to it.
Yeah, probably.
I think so. But I had my fair share of dissecting. The squid one, I remember I did it wrong and I made the ink pop.
Oh, because you have to write your name with the ink.
Yeah. The one that was the nastiest to me though was the cow heart. That one I was kind of like, yo, this is not. The frog was interesting. Had a weird smell. The frog was interesting though. I messed that one up. Me and my partner messed that one up too. But yeah. But see, yeah, you're right. Because even doing all that, never once was like, I want to take this home and practice on it. Not once did I say, maybe I should incorporate this with humans. Like, no.
Or I could get if you're into science and your science background and you want to be a surgeon or you want to be something positive in the community.
Nicole, how come we never say people that want to be surgeons? How come we never call them weird? Because to have a passion for that or to want to go pursue that and learn it, like, you have to have a thing for cutting up and seeing blood, right?
But they're not getting some
what if
sexual satisfaction from it. They're actually fixing the human so that they can live, not trying to end their life abruptly.
You think so?
Or yeah.
I think depending on who you are, there's more care, obviously. But
well, yeah, that's. But I would hope that the surgeon who's cutting me open is doing it because they are a well-studied individual who wants to remove what is wrong with my body and fix it.
Yeah,
that's what I would hope.
But now you got me kind of thinking, like, I just had this thought right now. It's like, man, surgeons and stuff, they have to have some type of something, man. They were into some type of dissecting too in the early, and maybe that was their way of channeling it in a good way. Like, why not? Right?
Well, right.
Because think about it, right? Like, you think he would have ended up the way he ended up if his dad was able to channel his weirdness the right way? Or is that even possible to try to channel something a different type of way instead of an evil way? Or if you just have it in you, you have it in you.
I don't know. Based on the show, I'm going to say this. Based on the show, because I don't know his parents. I don't know.
Yeah, based on the show, yeah.
Based on the show, I feel like he was kind of doomed from the start. Not, just because, his mother was on a lot of pills and barbiturates and all, things that you probably shouldn't be consuming when you are pregnant. The relation, she even in the show, she says, she didn't want to be pregnant. She wasn't happy pregnant. It wasn't a positive experience for her. His father, the dynamic between the father and the mother was very just strange.
Beyond toxic.
Unhealthy. Later on in the show, he says how she didn't hold her son when he was a baby, although they had another child, which they don't really talk about him a lot. If you notice that he was very just like a shadow. They don't really talk about the other son much.
That usually happens though, huh? Right? I personally know some uncles and aunts that they treat the older kid way different than they treat like the second one, the third one. Mm-hmm. Way more love that you can see that they give the other two, the ones that come later in life and the ones that come early in life.
Yeah, so I don't know if they could have. Who knows? There's a lot of things that they could have done later on, but in the childhood aspect,
it was doomed. Huh?
I don't think that either parent was capable at that time to really help him based on what the show portrayed.
Well, the dad was selfish to me in the show. Because I get you fight with your girl, you're not getting along, it's annoying, blah blah blah. But you saw your kid in the hallway watching you guys fight, and you still walked by him and took off. Mm-hmm. Like a real one, regardless if you know you're having a headache, I would at least yo, come on, let's go. Let's go outside, distract me. I would use the kid to distract me from all the BS at home. Like, let's go have fun. I'll go raise you. And it kind of did happen when he would take him out and do the roadkill stuff, but it was just weirdo stuff. Like, you don't do that with your kid. I mean, I guess, but
it would be, I could get like fishing or hunting.
But just to get roadkill?
That was a little strange. But then later on, the father does admit that he had strange thoughts himself. Yeah. So, like I said, that could be true. That could just be part of the show to make you be like, oh.
If it was true, though, who you're more mad at? Because the dad didn't do it. Regardless if you have the thoughts, you vocalizing that, yeah, it's scary, right? People are like, yo, raise an eyebrow, but you never acted on it. So can you really be mad at him for having those thoughts?
But what if he had some kind of like genetic disposition for these? Not saying that I'm.
No, we're potting, yeah.
Right.
Every aspect.
One could say maybe he had these like, some kind of mental disorder. Maybe he was doomed because his mother was this, but I feel like both parents were not capable.
I feel small. All that, but he still went to the extent to kill people.
Well, yeah, he knew what he was doing was wrong.
Yeah.
At any point in time, he could have turned himself in. Come on.
You know why I want to have that Plática too of inconvenience? Because watching this show, you know what I hated the most? That they threw him to the grandma. Made it inconvenience for her. That got me so hot, Nicole. Like,
same. That made me so hot. Like, y'all really gonna dump him on grandma? On grandma. On grandma.
That's cop out, man. Just because grandma's nice and she will do it, but come on, man. You guys know he got kicked out of work, he got kicked out of the army, all this stuff, and you're just gonna be like, we had it with you, we don't know what you do, but you're just staying with your grandma. But you're gonna leave that inconvenience to her like that, and I don't like that. So I thought about that. I actually put in the outline. I thought about that because, yeah, like people just like making other people's inconvenience to make their life easier. I don't like that, man. But I mean, I guess that happens in every level. The same way the GOV makes everything inconvenient for us, but it's easier. It's not inconvenient for them.
I was just mad when he was yelling at her. I was like,
bro,
that made me hot. I was trying to watch it without having any emotional reaction, but I did have some, which we'll talk about. But when he yelled at his grandma and broke whatever he broke, the bowl, the cup, no, sir. And she was the one that bailed him out of jail.
Yeah, the first time.
No. I will say this about my family. I knew I did some stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, but I knew that if I ever went to jail, I'm not getting bailed out. I'm not getting bailed out. I don't have that luxury.
That's a Latino thing for sure.
You ain't getting bailed out.
My mom used to always say, like, look, I know you're my son, but if you ever want to jail, whatever, like, I'll come visit you. I'll come and do all that, but I ain't bailing you out.
My dad was like, don't even call. Don't waste the phone call. Got it.
Yeah, I didn't like how they just, here, grandma, you deal with this. And then
Hurt me.
And then he still had the nerve to just do him at the grandma's house. Look, okay. He's a serial killer, right? As much as his grandma was getting in the way of him doing his stuff, or like, you know, she kept coming downstairs, kept seeing things, kept quite, you know, that's the reason Ron Flowers even escaped because of the grandma. Yeah, because she came down and she stayed with them all night because she saw that he wasn't good. But even regardless of all that, Nicole, you don't think it ever ran through his head like, I'm gonna kill my grandma?
You know, I was like, at one point when he was getting really mad at her, I was like, he's going to end her.
When she threw the mannequin away.
I was like, oh my, she's next. That's what I thought. I really thought. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to fast forward through this part because I can't see the grandma go.
But go ahead.
But he had this, or at least they portrayed it on the show, how when it came to his dad and his grandma, like he would get mad. He would get loud with the grandma, which whatever.
The dad was the only one that can handle him.
He was like afraid of his dad.
He would always be like, approval.
I'm sorry, Dad. And I'm just like, and then the dad, like, I just didn't, but there are that article that I did read about the woman who actually wrote the book and was saying that some things of the show are more dramatized and not factual. She did say that he did hold his family in a very high regard. But I'm like, if you did, then why did you keep doing messed up stuff and disappointing them?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you really did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's funny that you say that because that's called something. When you're able to kill things that you have no emotional attachment to, but the people you actually do care about, the things you care about, like you don't hurt them. It's called what is it called? Let me see. Well, let's get into this because as I was doing research and stuff like that, I said, you know, what are some signs that someone is a serial killer or someone is, you know, that has some type of something in them, right? Mm-hmm. And what was it? The first one is lack of empathy. Second is lack of remorse. Third is impulsivity. 3 is grandiosity. Fourth is narcissism. 5th is superficial charm. 6th is manipulation. 7th is addictive personality. 8 is lust for power. 9 is sensation seeking. And 11 is, I'm sorry, I messed up the numbers. 11 is the McDonald triad, which basically means that, you know, as a little kid, you were killing cats, killing whatever, you know. You got a kick out of like killing birds and hurting animals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So lack of empathy would be the first one, which basically is it's impossible to be empathetic towards someone and still carry out premeditated homicide on them. This trait is common in both sociopaths and psychopaths, and therefore present in the majority of serial killers. Interestingly, this isn't to say that a serial killer will lack empathy for absolutely everything and everyone. It's completely possible for a serial killer to show empathy towards another human being, although that human being rarely becomes one of their victims. A number of studies have shown that serial killers will be fully aware of their victims' distress. They just won't feel it themselves. That's wild. Because to me, if you're a killer, you're a killer. But I guess everyone got morals. I guess there's killer morals too, right?
I guess. Like, I don't know.
That's nasty to say, but imagine there's some type of morality compass for killers.
Are there levels of the morality compass?
You think killers see other killers and be like, nah, you wildin', bro. Like, I wouldn't kill like that.
I mean, that's why when we don't see that justice has really been served, there's that prison morality that handles that in prison.
That's true. Because that's what happened to him.
I mean, that's just...
That's what happened to him. Do you think you've ever met a serial killer that you never knew? But now that I read those things, you're kind of like, huh?
That's why that I was, yeah.
Okay, go. Yeah. Let's go into it, Nicole.
So I'm going to talk about how I felt prior to I had put a tweet out because everybody was talking about the Jay Dahmer, da 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 da. And I was like, no, thank you. And then someone was like, this person doesn't even exist. But then after having a conversation with you, I was like, for the sake of content, because I feel this is, traumatizing, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to just give it a go so we can have a discussion. I'm glad that we're talking about the survivors and just all of that. So when I started watching the show, I try to be open-minded. I'm a human being. I'm trying not to be biased. It was painfully slow to me. And I think that it was shot that way to kind of get you to
comfortable,
get the anticipation factor. I didn't realize this until I didn't really have a lot of emotions towards the show. Obviously, when he was committing some of the crimes, I just had to kind of like fast forward because I feel a lot.
Yeah, you do.
And it like I feel it physically in my body. So I was just like, oh, let me fast forward this part. I got to just get the gist. When he locks the door, or when the victims are trying to get out and the door's locked, that sound of the lock and the door, which comes through a lot in the show, that I'm not gonna say trigger. I don't know if triggered is the right word, or slightly triggered me, or took me back to an event that happened in my life. But that sound, I used to have a huge problem with the sound of doors when you can't open them. I had a huge issue with locks as well and unlocking things so that was something personal for me, that every time that a scene would have that, I would instantly kind of just be like, oh my gosh, can they open the door? Can they open the door? Because I had a situation where I had to lock a door to prevent someone from coming in. And I remember that I was able to get to the door and lock it, and hearing that sound of them trying to open the door. And so watching that kind of, even when the neighbor, when he goes to the neighbor and she locks the door and she's like, her hand is shaking, that really, like, I kind of relived this moment. So that for me was like, that's a lot. Wow. That I didn't expect that to
be a constant theme in the show.
Yeah. And I was just like, wow, because I hadn't thought about that event for myself in a long time. I had processed it. I did a podcast on my own about it. But just that, I can relate to that, to like trying to get the lock, and it's like your hands don't want to work, and like closing that door, like that for me was like so much intensity. Or I've also been in a situation where I've had to run out of a house, of an apartment, and just being able to open the door and get out. So it just took me back to just times in my life where I don't know what was going to happen. I wasn't comfortable with what was happening, and I needed to just book out of there.
Yeah.
So that for me was just like, wow, that was a lot. And it just created, like, I could just feel the tension, so that was like very relatable. So I could see how someone who, if could relive trauma from watching it. The whole, how he used the photography, I really thought about how I was going to bring this up today. So I used to have a blog called Beauty and Beer, which I've pretty much mostly scrapped it all from the internet, but who knows? You might find it. I don't know. And
what did you write about though? It
was about beauty products, and when craft beer was growing in Sacramento, I was going to all these craft breweries and talking about it, writing about it, doing events, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So that was kind of a time where I was thinking about really wanting to be an influencer, or really having like a big presence on social media. I really wanted to do writing. Craft beer was blowing up. I'm a woman. There's not a lot of women in craft beer. And then also just working with photographers to try to get to photography, right?
Yeah.
So during that time, it was a lot of, you talk to a photographer and you say, hey, can you take photos The exchange is this. I'll take photos of you. You could put them on your social media and I could use them in my portfolio.
Uh-huh.
And that's like, so there's no money exchange where it's like, you're helping me, I'm helping you. So when he's like, oh, I'll pay you, or, oh, it's just a couple pictures, or I just want some pictures, that really, I worked with a lot of photographers. I'll say that. I always made sure to vouch, like, hey, did you work with this photographer? As a woman showing up to meet a photographer who is a man by yourself in certain places.
Yeah.
I will say this. I've worked with amazing photographers, men who are completely respectful, take amazing photos, who didn't make me feel any sort of type of way. I did have a bad experience with an individual who it could have gone some type of way. But we were never alone. But he took it to a whole nother level of like sending me this email, professing his love. It was kind of like an upset. I didn't realize, because I was naive to the game and how stuff worked. I really thought that I was building a business type partnership, you know? And in actuality, this person was becoming obsessed. He was older than me, predatory, wanted to be with me, wanted to like all these. And I'm like, where did you get all this from?
Because you said yes to some pictures?
Yeah, pictures where I was, and I just preface, completely clothed. It doesn't matter though. Even if you're a woman or man, or however, even if you're taking your clothes off, that doesn't give the person the right to disrespect you, to touch you, to harass you, anything like that. Because I have worked with a photographer who he works with women who, you know, are uncovered, and he's a very respectable person. And shout out to him, because he's a real one. Like, and that's why he's at where he's at in life, because he's not a creeper. But when he did the photographer stuff and how he did it, like, oh, let's go have some drinks, it just brought me back to that. And I just see how just the predatory behavior.
Yeah.
You know, that how it's just a couple photos, I'm going to pay you. It's innocent. And something else about the show that stood out to me in particular was how when he was in the military, he had shown and expressed the interest in the drugs. And I don't know how I feel, and I would love your opinion on this, but I kind of felt like they shouldn't have shown like the name of the drug or given such like...
They did, I think, didn't they?
They did show the name of the drug.
They did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What is it called?
And that, I think it was Halcyon.
Something like, yeah, with the E, right? Or no?
No, it was with an H. Yeah. And so I was just like, do we really want to give people...
But usually people that do drug people in that manner, they're not using that drug, right? It's more like a roofie type drug. Is that what roofie is or no? Because he was using stuff that can kill, that was basically killing them. He wasn't even doing it right because he was overdosing them.
He was overdosing. I mean, yeah, he was overdosing them, which
his plan wasn't to kill him, huh? They were just dying because he was overdosing them. I think he was trying to get him to like that zombie. He was trying to. He was drilling into their brain just a hole to get them all like mencitos and control them. He didn't want them to die because his whole thing was that he didn't want people to leave him.
But it was just that.
But he was just burnt out.
He was just
sloppy fool.
So that also just drugging people. I just thought.
You've been drugged?
I have.
Oof.
I don't know who drugged me.
Okay.
I don't know who drugged me. So I was at a bar in Sacramento, and I will take blame for part of this.
Okay.
I'm honestly going to take blame for part of it. I got a margarita. And let's say this is my margarita. It's not, it's water. I have a margarita. And I, at that time, I used to smoke cigarettes. So there were all these people. I got my margarita from the bartender. I'm with all these people. And I put my margarita down. And I had a cigarette, and this guy was like, "Oh, can I light your cigarette?" Yeah, of course. I light the cigarette. Then I had my eyes were not on my cup. Okay. I go back, I grab my cup. Oh, there's all these people around me, not thinking. I drink my margarita, and I'm like, Now, this is coming from someone who's done drugs in her life. So I'm very aware of what alcohol does and what other things do.
Yeah.
And I was like, something's not right. And then I started to feel my vision get a little strange. And then I'm just that type of person where it's like my brain just starts going and it's like, you're not safe. You can't trust anybody around you. I immediately texted my best friend, shout out to Mario, hit him up. And I was like, I'm at such and such bar. I need you to come get me. And that's the thing about my friends. It's like when I send a text like that, they're like on my way. And he said when I got there, he went into the bar to find me because I was like, if I don't answer my phone, if something happens, I need you to extract me out of this spot, because I just felt like it was, everything was kind of weird. And yeah, he ended up taking me. So I went to my friend's house. He took me to his house and he was like, yeah, you passed out. Like you were out.
So when he got there, you were passed out already?
No, so he picked me up. He picked me up and I was just like, and he's like, what's going on? I was like, I have not drank. I was like, I have not drank a lot for me to be this messed up.
Where did he find you at though? Like, what were you doing?
He said that I was smoking another cigarette because I was like, honestly, I was trying to keep myself like
balanced.
Yeah. And just like, okay, I'm gonna just keep smoking these cigarettes because in my mind, I'm like, who did it? Who's waiting for me to be like, oh, she's falling, or oh, she looks tired. Oh, who's the predator, right? So when my friend got me and I was in his car, I was starting to pass out when I was in his car. When I got to his house, I passed out. The next day when I woke up, I was sick, like I had drank 10 margaritas or something. And I was like, nah, I wasn't even that drunk. Like at that time I was drinking a lot of alcohol. So I had an alcohol problem. So I should have been fine technically. But for what I had consumed and the headache, the way I felt, he was like, you were lights out when I got you. And I don't know, to this day, I don't know who it was. It could have been a stranger. It could have been somebody who had seen me. Oh, she put her cup down. Boom. It's that quick. But I just remember I was like, And even though that's the other danger is that I know someone who was drugged with ketamine, which is a horse tranquilizer. Mm-hmm. The person who drugged her, they don't know who it was. Some people thought it was the bartender that was in cahoots with whoever.
Yeah.
She started throwing up so bad that they had to call 911. And if the club hadn't called 911, she would have died because whoever drugged her gave her an insane dose of horse tranquilizer. So it's not something to play with. And the fact that they just kept showing it during the show, I was just like, it's not okay to do that. You should not be drugging anyone, period, at all.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
You never figured out who it was? No one hit you up either like, hey, were you like, I don't know, you didn't have no hints? Even when you were smoking your cigarettes, you didn't see anybody that kind of was looking at you like just.
It was so hard to tell. And it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but I was with a group of people that I hung out with them and I don't think it was any of them, but there were a lot of other people around us, but they weren't like my solid friends because obviously I didn't feel safe enough to tell one of them, hey, I think I got roofied. You know what I mean? I had to call someone that I trusted to come get me because I was just like in my head, I was so paranoid. And I was like, what if it was one of them? What if it's one of them waiting to see if I'm going to, show a sign of weakness? So I'm just like trying to keep it together as much as possible. But what if I had drank the whole margarita?
Yeah.
So
That's tricky.
it's tricky. And this, what the show does highlight is that it could be a man doing it to a man. It could be a man doing it to a woman. I mean, it could be a woman doing it to a woman. You just don't know. You should just cover your drink. Keep your eyes on your drink all the time. If you lose sight of your drink, just get a new one. It's not. It's just not worth it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And I learned after that. I mean, I always was careful, but in that moment, it was a slip up. And people are waiting for you to slip up.
That's a fact. This fool Dahmer was he was so burnt out too. Like,
I was just like,
but a lot of them, well, again, just based off the show, so I don't know what happened in real life. But like in the show, like in the first dude that he killed in the hotel, remember?
mm-hmm.
I think it was the only white guy that he killed in the show, and he like he was mixing the drinks in the restroom, and like he came to the side, like, what are you doing? He's still just dancing. He's like, yeah, sure. And I was just like, bro, why are you mixing drinks in the restroom? I would have questioned that, but I get it's the show. But yeah, man,
It was that, and episode 6, I cried. I had to pause it. I had to cry. I cried a lot.
I didn't even think he was gonna do that.
It hurt. It hurt me so much.
Well, because he again, just based off the show, he was falling in love with them, right?
This is how I think. In my mind, I was like, he's not going to hurt this man because maybe there's a sliver of hope that he's going to be like, wow, there is a whole new world outside of what I have known. But that was not the case.
But do you think that he wanted to, like, you think it was just you think he did it because just the urge in him, like, oh, I just like, I need to kill, or do you think he really thought he was gonna leave him? Because that was his whole thing, right? Again, based off the show, his whole thing was that he wanted people to be with him forever. And I guess based off the show as well, that's because his mom left him, his dad left him, everybody in his life always left him. So eventually he got to a point where he's like, I don't want people to leave me. So I'm gonna kill you. Because the first person he killed was the hiker, I think it was, and he's like, he didn't want him to leave either. Or the hitchhiker who was trying to take him to the show, and that was the first person that he got mad at because the guy was like, yo, I don't know what you into, but I didn't come over here for all this, for all this gay stuff. I came over here because you said you're going to take me over here, blah, blah, blah. And that's when he did it. But when it came to what was his name? The one he killed? The one he cried, the one he fell in love with? Man, the homie at work told me the name today too. Cause he said the same thing. Oh, pobrecito. He said his name, pobrecito. Da da da. I'm like, who's that? And he goes, the one that he killed. I was like, bro, I'm telling you, like, I was that hurt because I thought he was gonna. It goes back to the lack of empathy part. Like he loves him, so I'm gonna leave him alone. He understands me. He's not tired of me. He's showing up. We're hanging out. We're going on dates. We're doing all this. And I wonder if he didn't pick up on it because he was deaf though.
Tony Hughes.
Tony, there you go. Pobrecito Tony.
I sobbed just because, when people watch shows, they're like, oh, this is entertainment. But when you for me at least, that was a real person. That was a real man who had real goals, who wanted to be someone and didn't get to be that. Didn't get to fulfill their dreams. And I just, oh my God, I sobbed. I had texted you and I was like, I literally sat on my couch and I was sobbing because I was like, that made me so sad. And when his mom, in the show, when his mom is reading the letter and she's like doing the I love you in sign language, I cried again. And I was just like, it's just sad.
Yeah.
That made me sad. It was just because, and something that bothered me, but also just to highlight, is how when the police were called and they were like, I think that they were uncomfortable. This is what I wanted. I don't know if I'm phrasing this properly, but the police were uncomfortable with the fact that
it was a gay apartment.
Is homosexuals. And it's like, so you're going to not completely do your job properly, of course, on the show, but you're not going to do your job like you should because of a personal, preference that you don't agree with. And that just...
But it was also back in the day, so I guess based on context, yeah. Now, in today's time, it'll be way more crazier. It'll be way more outrage. Back then, it's like, it's still outrage, but people were scared of like AIDS and all that stuff when it first got introduced to the world, so that's the only justification I'll give that. Because now in today's world, yeah, like, come on, dog.
That made me just...
But no... That's besides that one. Well, the only reason when they went inside the apartments was when the little kid, the 14-year-old had escaped and they took him back. That got me more hot. And they didn't question the age. Like, I don't care if you want to walk into the apartment. Like, this little kid was out in the porch with the lady. And she was like, "Yo, I don't think this kid is of age." And they still put it to the side and was like, "Nah, it's just boyfriend problems." But because you're so disgusted by homosexuals that you didn't even want to look into it.
That's you. It doesn't matter. That should not matter. No one deserves to be mistreated anyway. And that when you go into a job, when you're a public servant, when you're a doctor, police officer, whatever, you have to put your personal preferences to the side. It just, that made me hot too.
So based off this show, Nicole, like, do you think they were trying to glorify this person?
Yeah, I think so. I think that they were trying to, they succeeded in making this a trending topic. Definitely think they tried to humanize him.
For sure.
Definitely try to make you feel sorry for him. Something that bugged me was how when he would read his fan mail.
Yeah.
I was just like, there are sick people. They're really, like, people have issues. Like,
for sure.
Like, really? Send me, and he thrived off of that, like, oh, I got money or attention. And I mean, how many people, aside from this show, how many women and men write to murderers and killers in prison and think that's like, I don't like, that would never cross my mind.
It's like I said in the beginning of the show, it just, America has done a great job of fetishizing serial killers. And a lot of people they fall for it. A lot of people like gory stuff. A lot of people out there like blood. They're like, and then most of those people are people that are really into like horror films, that are really into like just all that, having Chucky dolls in the house. There's more of those people that are fascinated by these people and like, oh, I want to mail him and send him something and tell him that you're my hero. And to be honest, Nicole, because it was a white person doing things to people of color, that's why he's a hero to a lot of white people. That's why they do fetishize him too, because it's like, bro, we wish we could do that, but you doing it. Not even do that as far as to the extent of, necrophilia, but I'm more as just killing, people of color. Like that's maybe, because I'll be surprised if you had people of color hitting him up like, yo, bro, we see you.
Yeah, no.
You're our hero. Thanks for doing what you like. What? What? So,
honestly, that's just, to me, that rubbed me the wrong way because of a situation which I've talked about before, where my friend was shot and the person that had something to do with that was literally getting letters and had her own dating profile while in prison. And to me, it's like, why you're in prison, like for something that you ruined multiple people's lives. You weren't wrongfully convicted. That's not the case. You are guilty. You did this, and you get fan mail and a dating profile, and That to me, that's just not it.
Yeah, because I mean, it goes back to, well, at the end of the day, a person's still a human being and he got emotions and feelings, and yeah, it goes back to that. It does though. That's what everyone tries to make it seem. At one point in time, he was a human being. At one point in time, something went wrong in his path. That's how they justify it. I look. I'm gonna say this: if this story wasn't any type of like truth to it, if it didn't trigger any type of real emotions to it, this a fire show. It was shot amazing. The acting was amazing. Like everything about the show was fire. But I understand me saying that it's just like because it happened in real life. So you can't really say that. But if it didn't have no type of truth to it, this show wouldn't have done what it did. It would have caused what it caused. Mm-hmm. It would have just been a successful show on Netflix. That's it. But it wouldn't have gone to the extent of everyone feeling a type of way about it, different groups being triggered, and none of that, right? But it is justifiable. Like Netflix throwing up LGBTQ tag, that's disrespectful, dog. That's just
100%
like,
disrespectful.
But at the same time, like, see, like all this stuff is triggering, right? But it's all marketing too. It's not, and does marketing have morals? That's a whole different conversation, right? Ooh. But yeah, like I mean, it worked. It worked. We talking about we sold it for them. Netflix don't have commercials like that. Netflix puts out one trailer and that's it, and we do the rest. We the ones that are potting about it. We're the ones that are talking about it. And I get it. I'm here right now doing this. I'm not. This is I'm playing we playing the algorithm. But I think that's the only reason why it caused what it caused, because it having truth to it. That's the only reason. Because people watch Saw. People watch stuff like that. People watch other horror movies, but because it's a fictional character, they watch Jason. They watch Freddy Krueger. They're all killing kids too. It was killing kids. No one gets mad about that because it's fake. It's fiction. But this has some truth to it, and uproar. Everyone go crazy about it, and everyone fake cares for a good month, and that's it.
What I just try to put myself in other people's shoes, and I would be mad if I lost a family member and I'm watching the show, and
Now, why are you watching the show?
But I wouldn't be watching the show. I'm saying like people watching the show and I'm made aware of that there's a show about it.
Right.
I wouldn't watch it if it was.
And that's why I'm gonna get my coins. I didn't approve all. I know I'm gonna bank off this. I don't care. Like I need something out of this.
So is the family of the victims, are they suing or anything?
They're suing right now. They're in the process. Yeah, they're in the process of suing.
Here's my question. So I was having this conversation with Fowla and Mimi. We were talking about property, intellectual property. So let's say, for example, I write a book,
right? And
someone goes and makes a movie about it.
You can
you can sue, right? Mm-hmm. But as me, myself, Nicole,
right?
Someone goes and makes a movie about me. Mm-hmm. How, with a book, you have a trademark, copyright, all that stuff. How do I protect myself?
You can't. It's happening right now in real time. Magic Johnson don't like how he's portrayed on the Lakers show. Pamela Anderson didn't like how she was portrayed. And these are living people. These are people that are even dead. They have a say still. Mm-hmm. But these corporations, they can't make a movie out of whatever. They can't sue them because they're using your name. Maybe they alter little things of the story so it's not identical to where you can't really say anything either. Mm-hmm. And that's why you gotta just figure out. Look at Mike Tyson. That show on Hulu right now about him, he didn't approve it. That's why he hasn't promoted it. Like, think about it. Mm-hmm. These people are alive, Nicole. They're not even dead.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just you gotta have good lawyers. That's it. That comes with money. But if Magic Johnson can't put a stop to a show.
Yeah, it was like, how do you protect yourself from that?
When it comes down to that, just give me my cut.
So if they made a movie about
Just
you,
give my
you just-
cut. Because regardless, even though I say I want final approval, even if I say I want final edits and I want it to be how I want it to be, that's not guaranteed. They can, as soon as I say yeah like that, take it with them, take everything back in, okay, put it out, and then I'm gonna be mad when it comes out. Like what? They were supposed to take this out and that out, and they were supposed to put this in. So that in that point, it's just let me figure out the best money and deal to get. So even if I don't like what comes out, I at least it's justifiable because of the money. To me, that's how I look at it.
Do you think that a lot of people were just, oh, this is outrage for the victim, but really felt bad? I've honestly,
no, what, Nicole? This is more. Go ahead.
I felt like I was like, gosh, like when I would watch it, I was like, gosh, I don't want people to, like I was like torn because this is something that's hurting some people, but it's also entertainment to some people.
To most people.
And so I'm just like, then you have people who are outraged at people who are watching it. But I wanted to touch on something that came to my mind earlier today, where people are talking about victims and talking about this and standing up for people of color. People love to watch this kind of shows, content. But what are you doing to really help victims in real time? Most people don't do anything, right? So I wanted to touch on an account on Instagram that is called Black and Missing, Black and Missing Foundation. And they post every single day. And what's sad is that the algorithm doesn't even show me the account. I have to manually search it every single time. Every day they post a missing person in a different area who is a missing person, who is a person of color. Mm-hmm. So I feel like these people, this outrage, if you really feel like you want to help victims and families, you should go follow that account and you should repost it, because I do from time to time.
But how credible is that account?
Oh, it's credible.
They have a link and everything, and
yeah, you can go see that it's a legitimate missing person. But
you can see the work they do, or they're just putting up missing every day.
No, they're sharing. What they do is that they share it, and then, they, in hopes that people will share the content. And, because in this day and age, sharing content, someone could be like, oh, I did see that person. Oh, at that time I was there. Mm-hmm. And they do show you. Sometimes they find the people.
Okay.
And sometimes the people are found and they're already deceased. But it's about giving the families closure. Mm-hmm. It's about being able to find them. It's about giving victims who might not be on prime time because of their race, and just being able to shine a light. So I just wanted to speak that little piece. If you really care about victims and people of color, and you should follow the account and do your part and share it, because a share doesn't cost any money, and it could be seen. And it could help lead to some sort of closure for the family, positive or just.
Say that account again?
It is called Black and Missing Foundation.
On Instagram, right?
On Instagram.
Yeah, shout out to everyone out there that's also shout out to the people that actually get mad and do something about it. Not the ones that get fake mad for a little bit and then because it's not in your timeline anymore, because no one's outraged about it no more. Mm-hmm. It doesn't exist to you anymore. One of the what I really just honestly what really turned me off about just getting this type of content or this show, Nicole, is that how many people is gonna inspire.
Yeah,
like we're gonna see and look, I'm gonna get into it because yesterday my coworker was like, "Hey, you heard about the guy in Sacramento that's killing people, that's killing Mexicans?" And I'm like, "Nah, really?" And I was like, it's sick of me to be like this, but my pod mind was like, yo, what? I'm podding about this, so perfect. Like, what? So I asked you about it because you're from Sacramento, and you said you haven't heard anything about it. I actually did some research today, and it's a Stockton serial killer. Yeah. And so based off the timing of this, not even the timing of it, because I think we could have got it anytime. We could have got this anytime, but now are we going to see the fluctuation of serial killers started rising again? Like the 90s again?
The copycats.
Like, because in the 90s, the serial killers were a big sensation, right? All the different type of serial killers. So I wonder if this is gonna, you know how history always repeats itself when we have cycles? Like, what if this was like the ritual and initiation to start bringing up all like new serial killers and stories and stuff like that, right? And look, and back when this happened, back in 91, they said that the first year that Dahmer was arrested or whatever, that Halloween there were so many people. That letter, I think the girl sent the fan mail to him, said that so many people dressed up as you this year. So I think that might happen this year. Even again, there's gonna be a lot of Dahmers this year for Halloween. And I'm not going to be surprised if we start seeing all the accounts posting like, oh, look at the Jeffrey Dahmer person. Look at the Jeffrey Dahmer person. The glasses are going to be popping already. Rick Ross is already making them popular by tweeting things like, I need me a pair of Dahmer shades. Now those shades are auctioning for $150,000. And this is why, like, is this strategic? Like, why is this coming out right now? They're trying to auction some stuff out. They're trying to build value to something. Like, it's weird, the timing of it with everything going on. So I won't be surprised if we start seeing more stories. And look, I'll get into the Stockton killer because I pulled up a little bit of facts of that. The Stockton serial killer, right? 5 killings so far. All and this is why people believe it's a serial killer, because they're connecting them and they all have things that are similar. There was 5 killings. All of them were ambushed. They were all shot to death in the dark by themselves. None of them were robbed or beaten to death. They were just shot up and killed. They were all within a few square miles of each other. The victims aren't connected, and the police found out that there's no connection between the victims, and none of them are gang related or drug related. So right now they're offering $85K a reward, and the ages of the victims range between 21 and 54, and 4 of the men are Hispanic and 1 is white. And they don't have any picture of him. Like, they have one picture, but it's from the back of like a camera caught him with a hoodie on and everything. So we don't even have any type of inclination of any hints at who it could be. But see, like, are we gonna start seeing that more, Nicole?
I hope not, but that's what I'm saying. Like, content and shows and things, some people can watch it and they're just like, oh my gosh, this was terrible. And then other people, it's
inspired.
Like inspiring. And that's disturbing. That's what I'm saying. When they showed the name of the drug, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
It's like HV says, life imitating art. No, art imitating life as life is imitating art. So it goes back to that. Like, people are seeing all this stuff, and we're gonna start seeing the imitation happening in real life, and real life. That's the only thing I don't like, how they're really just trying to normalize it. And you know, Twitter's gonna Twitter, and it's gonna get us jokes off. And it was guts. A lot of stuff was funny to me, but it takes it desensitizes it.
Yeah,
Twitter desensitizes because think about it. The whole show is sick in itself, right? The whole idea of it is sick, but Twitter desensitizes it so much to where it's jokes. Everyone's joking. Everyone's like, that would never happen to me. The Dahmer would never do that to me. I would never fall for that. I would blah, 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 blah.
He's not real. That was never a person who existed. That's the response I got to a tweet. And I'm just like,
Nicole, that was a great way to put that in. That's good. That was Potty 101 right there. That was fire.
That really, like, I was just like, people always want, that would never happen to me, or that's not real until it happens to you. God forbid. God forbid. When it doesn't exist in your reality, when it's not part of your community, it's not your problem.
Yeah.
It's not real. The family,
Guilty.
all that. And I was just like, See, and when I got that response, I just didn't even like it. I don't feed into that. It's like, if that doesn't exist for your reality, cool. I
don't fit into the outrage or the jokes. I look at things differently, but it's again, if there was any little truth to this, this wouldn't be what it is.
Right.
Look at that show, Dope. You seen Dope Sick?
Mm-hmm.
You seen Dope Sick about the pills? That's scary too. And no, you don't see no outrage for that. So people pick and choose what
yeah.
they feel more and what they're doing. That's why to me it's all content, it's all entertainment. There's who knows if it's the full truth of any of this stuff. They're gonna give you bits and pieces of it, and the people that are giving you this content, the people that actually wanna rewrite history their way. So obviously they're gonna paint it how they want to paint it. But there's there's so much content out here that's really, if you think about it, it's sick and it's crazy, and we let it fly because it's not this type of content. It's not Dahmer-ish to where it appeals to the different communities.
I'm supposed to go to a Halloween party this year, and I'm like, I will really do a double take on and really reevaluate some people if I see you dressed like. I'll be like, you know what? I don't know.
If your parents were to watch this, how do you think they would react? How do you think Hispanic parents would react to him? Cochino.
You know, first of all, he would
Lo tiene el diablo.
they would have been like, lo tiene el diablo,
Tiene que ir a misa.
Tiene que ir a misa. Let's call the padre to come to the house.
Oh, honestly, Nicole, I think some of our people would even be like, he just has to confess, and there's still hope for him.
I think though too, and I will just say for my household, so growing up, there was this neighbor, and this is a true story. Growing up, we had these neighbors, and they were Caucasian, and we would go over there and play sometimes, but so my dad would be like, I don't know, kind of weird, just stay over here, play over here. So I wouldn't really go over there to their house. I would just play at my house. And my brother comes running, and he's like, so-and-so put a firecracker. They caught an animal and stuck a firecracker and lit it in this animal. And my brother came running home and was telling me, and I remember my dad was like, don't go over there. Don't go over there. This is the last time I'm going to tell you, that's not normal. My dad was like, that's not normal. You don't take an animal and do what they did. And my brother was like, I didn't do it. I just saw them and like ran home because my brother knew that was not okay.
That wasn't cool.
And my dad was like, you'll get the belt if I even hear you even think about doing some wild stuff. So maybe he should have got the belt. Maybe they shouldn't have continued to enable him. Because I think
they enabled him.
But let's be honest, though, because with the whole pedo stuff que hablaron on the show, let's be honest, though, and hasta en las mejores familias, you got that uncle or something, you got the family members who be like, cuidado, tapate con la ropa because viene tu tío, da, da, da. You got predatory people in your family.
And they still allow the tío to come over. And they still allow the tío to come over.
So let's, I'm just saying.
They still allow the tío to come over. I'm just saying, who you more mad at?
That's all. Pero I'm going to say for me and my household, we would have got the belt and my dad would have put us in some kind of boot camp. I mean, well, look, he went to the army or whatever, but nah, would have been handled way early on, like real quick.
Yeah. And monitored too, not even just handled. I would have been all like, let me see. I'm going to put cameras where you don't expect it just so I can see you when you don't even think I'm seeing you. Just to see if you slip up any time of the day. I'm going to monitor you until you regain this trust back if you ever regain it back.
Shout out to my dad because he would always try to get us with like the fear tactics. But he would always say, when you're doing something bad, there's always someone watching you. Hey, yo, no lie. Every time when I was doing something I should have been doing, I was always like, hold up.
That even applies to the content game. When we're doing good like we're doing, no one sees it. Whenever we mad and like we bring our problems to social media, everybody there looking.
Those están with the views. Whenever
you start throwing shots at people on social media, everyone's looking. Whenever you like just being positive and doing good things and giving back, no one's looking.
Man, somos tóxicos los humanos. Por eso estamos donde estamos.
My mom would have watched that first episode and be like, nah, I'm cool. I was like, this trash.
Yeah. I don't know if my mom likes action. My parents both like action, but anything like
with guns.
With people. Guns and
but that's sick too. That's what I'm saying. Like people choose Nicole.
The cartel stuff. My mom was watching like some cartel novela, and I was like, Mom, what are you watching? And she's like, oh, es que la mujer. And I'm like, but there's a lot of murderous scenes. Like, can you? And the wild part was I was trying to have a conversation with my mom and she's just like this. I'm like, Mom, can you pause this show to talk to me? I don't want to watch this. Like,
was she watching La Reina del Sur? That's La Reina del Sur. Los Dueños del Paraíso.
She was watching something wild. I was like, look, them novelas, Mom, they got you too deep.
It's all, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Cada quien con su cosa,
I think my dad would have probably watched it because my dad wasn't like, I mean, he probably thinks it's sick, but again, he just watches it because it's a show and he's into it, you know. My mom would have been more like I can't believe you guys are watching this. Like, this is crazy. She's definitely you for sure.
Yeah, I like I said, there were parts where I was just like, fast forward. I can't.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you, Nicole. When I put the first episode was, I think, like the way it started, I can see how I can turn off everybody just the first episode, right? Because the first episode was pretty like. It was pretty rough, but I remember I was watching it and I was gonna stop it because I was watching the first episode. I was watching it at night, right? And I actually got scared. I was like, "Is this gonna be a scary show or not?" Because ever since I had my thing back in the day, 2020, horror movies have never been the same since then. Like I can't, or just suspenseful things. So I watched that first episode thinking it was gonna be like super scary, and I couldn't watch it. I watched like up until the part where he gets into the apartment, and then when I started getting kind of suspenseful, I was like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna come back in the morning when the sun's up. I didn't know nothing about this guy. I'm being honest with you. I didn't know nothing about no Dahmer. I never heard of him. My mom has told me that back in the 90s there was a lot of serial killers. I made the name probably came up one time or two or three, but not to the point where I'm like, it clicked. I started watching it because of another show that I watched, and they talked about Dahmer, and the way they were talking about it, like, oh yeah, nah, we're gonna watch it. And people were saying like, really gonna watch that? It's crazy. And I'm like, obviously me is like, wait, you telling me it's crazy? What's crazy? Let me go see. Because I've seen crazier movies, Nicole. Like, I've seen The Human Centipede. You ever seen The Human Centipede?
No.
You know what it's about or no?
If it's about murderous folks,
it's worse. But I seen that. I seen the Serbian movie. That was crazy. Oh my! I can't believe I even saw that. Like, that was crazy. I've seen even things back in the day, like, you know, and remember you ever seen like I seen Two Girls, One Cup.
Okay, yeah, but that's not scary though.
That's nasty.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
No, I seen the BME Pain Olympics. That's scary. You seen that one?
No.
Yeah, that was scary. I seen the two kids in the sandbox. That was scary. Like, I'm like, I hear something's crazy. It just. Well, I'm just that human that's like, what? I can't watch it. I shouldn't watch it. Let me go see.
Because for me, I'll say this: when I was younger, I used to watch scary movies. I had a cousin who was really into scary movies, so I would watch it. But then real life happens. And that's why I can't watch a lot of the things that I used to watch.
Okay. I feel that though.
That just, it's too much for me. That's why this show, I watched it during the day when the sun just started to set. I'm like, oh, I'm done. And I would say a prayer because I was like, oh. I was just like, please don't come into the dream world with this. Please, Lord, everybody. I just can't stomach it. Sometimes I watch stuff with my boyfriend. He'll be like, yeah, let's watch this. And it'll be if it's like a surgery or something medical, I can watch it.
Okay.
Because it's like a medical, they're trying to save the life. I could watch that. But when it's like gore, killer, psychopath, there's been times where my boyfriend's watching and I'm like staring at the point above the TV, pretending like I'm watching, trying to think about something else because I don't want to watch it.
You never watched Dexter?
I did watch some of it, but I'd never.
Was it hard?
Yeah.
It was tough? Really? Dexter was fire.
It was a great show, but I was younger then. So I did watch some of it, but I just, like the show. Have you ever watched the show You on Netflix? It's
I heard of it, but I never watched it.
So it's a good show. I did watch it, but there were some, I'm not going to lie. There were some parts of that show that just real life for me. And I was like, ooh, I'm just going to look at the floor and not watch it. That's where I think some people who don't have these life experiences, to them, it's like entertainment. There's that fine line. And so
That's
you
me.
have.
It's me. Hi.
It's you.
Cristobal X Mateo. Entertainment.
Yeah. For me, it's like, oh, that's too close. That's too real for me.
Nah. But meanwhile, we're already at 2 hours. This section, this has been good, and we're not. I still want to get into the last parts of the show because especially video del día, because I think it has to do with what we talked about today.
Okay.
And so let me see. Nah, I was gonna play some music, but I don't want to bring us back down again. Or get us into seriousness again. I'm gonna just keep it rolling.
Okay.
So let me play this. I want to play this video because we're gonna play this and then you're just gonna react because I thought it was pretty interesting. It has to do with the zodiac signs. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let me see. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. Okay, here we go.
Please hold.
Let's talk about this list, shall we? The zodiac signs of the most famous serial killers. The most surprising thing about this list is that Scorpio is not on it. How motherfucking ever. A name that is missing from this list is
Scorpio gang.
the Zodiac Killer, who a team of codebreakers has decided was Gary Francis Post, who's a Scorpio. So we don't know if that's true or not. But if it's true, he is a Scorpio. He would be the one Scorpio added to this list. Have you ever seen a Scorpio pop off? It is so frightening. Anyway, enough about Scorpio. Let's discuss the signs that are on this list. For those of you who don't believe in astrology, how can you explain that there's only 4 signs included in this long list? That's wild. The next craziest part is that there's 1 sign from each element. For fire signs, it's Sagittarius. For air signs, it's Gemini. For water signs, it's Pisces. And for earth signs, it's Virgo. Virgo shows up the most. That's crazy. You know that their crime scenes are immaculate, though. You know they're bleaching those crime scenes within an inch of their lives. And they're perfectionists, so no stone is left unturned. Gemini being included the next most frequently is not surprising to anybody. Jeffrey Dahmer, who is the subject of the new Netflix limited series Dahmer, is a Gemini. Pisces is surprising to nobody either because they let shit build up and then they explode. Have you ever had a Pisces go off on you? Sagittarius, most surprising, but they're only listed 4 times here. Sagittarius is chaotic and impulsive. I don't know, you mix that with mental health issues and I could see it happening.
That's for everyone that believes in the stars.
So all of those signs are mutable signs.
Mutable signs.
Each of those signs is considered mutable.
Which means?
So mutable signs are considered signs that could, I think it's like adaptable, chameleon, you can shift.
Word.
That's what those are all mutable signs. So
Interesting.
that is
I was sold in the beginning when she goes, Scorpio not on the list. Tell me why I was playing that video earlier, right? When I was hearing it before I put on the outline, and I started clapping so loud my dogs got scared.
But mutable signs also, if you notice, now that I'm thinking about it, so Virgo comes at the end of summer, right?
Virgo's the end of August, yeah.
And then Sagittarius, would that be considered the end of fall and beginning of winter?
Yeah.
And then is Pisces the
end of
winter because you're going into spring.
It's right before Aries season, huh?
Yes. And then Gemini is the end of spring.
Just confirms to me that I gotta keep searching for my Aries queen.
You heard it here first. Aries queen.
Would that mix good though if I have an Aries moon? She used to have like a water moon, huh?
Yeah, that would be balanced.
That'd be a cool balance. But I don't know why. I feel like every time I meet an Aries chick, like they're sexy, they're powerful, they're very assertive, they're very strong in their beliefs, and I like that. They're very fiery. I like spice.
He likes spice.
I like me a little like spicy Latina.
Who wears the sweats over the jeans, who has cute toes, who eats hot Cheetos at 7 a.m.
Okay, that one was potting, but yeah. Feet for show. The jeans could be a thing. I ain't gonna lie. The sweatpants could be a thing, but the hot Cheetos at 7 a.m. is wild. Wild. I'm definitely judging. I definitely might not want to be with you if I wake up in the morning, I look over and you eating hot Cheetos. Oh nah.
She's like crunch, 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 crunch en la cama todos los
on the Netflix. Babe, you're missing the show. Babe, you're missing the show.
Todas las migas in the bed sheets, all the little.
No.
Dang.
All right, let me see. I got meme del dia. Do I want to do meme del dia? Let me see. Actually, yeah, it's pretty funny. I'll do it. Okay. Meme del dia. As this one goes, this has nothing to do with serial killers no more. So we out of that.
We're out.
We're out. We did it, Nicole. We did it. Yes.
I'm so happy.
Okay, so meme del dia. This meme says, "Who can relate?" Right? Damn, Hispanic moms really poke holes in our ears the second we come out the womb. But I want to get a nose piercing 20 years later, and all of a sudden I belong to the streets.
Yo, that's so real. That's I have a baby picture and it's like, boop, gold studs.
Right away too, like ASAP. They always try to do that before the year, huh?
I think it was before the year that I got my ears
pierced. They always try to do it
pierced.
within the first year before, like something about the ears so that way it doesn't hurt you no more in the long. I don't know what it is, but
that's so true. When I got my second piercing, I was already old enough to go do what I wanted to do. It was like, te vas a hacer todos los hoyos en el oído, like all these holes in your ears. And I'm thinking, I didn't even have a say to the traumatizing event when you had them poke the needle in my skin.
I was dying because that was funny. That's funny because Mexican moms are definitely like that. All right, let me see. I got one more meme for us today.
That was a good one.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see this one. Okay. This one is also who can relate.
Ooh.
If you ever want to know what being Hispanic feels like, I almost fell down the stairs and my mom got mad at me.
Yo, that's so true. I fell off my bike in 6th grade and I jacked myself up and my dad was so mad at me.
You told the story.
Yeah.
On the summer vacation episode.
And I'm just like, why can't you be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? That's so
actually,
true.
That's actually real. You can repost that.
I'm going to repost that one. That's so true.
That's actually a mom's for show though. Like you do something, you trip. Por eso, ¿ves? Por ser menso. Por no fijarte.
¿Por qué estabas haciendo eso?
Yeah.
And you're like, why can't you just acknowledge that I injured myself? That I might need medical attention.
Oh, that was funny. That's funny. Shout out to all the Hispanic moms. Hispanic and Latina moms.
Shout out.
You guys are definitely the backbone in our families.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's time for the infamous segment of the day, the most popular segment of the day, the grandfather segment of the day. It's time for Una Palabra del Día. Es una palabra del día.
Palabra del Día. Brought
Presented
to you
by Sorry, No Lo Siento. Okay, my turn this week.
Boom, boom.
I don't think it's a hard word. Maybe it is. I never heard it, but
Okay.
I think you should get this, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay, so today's palabra del día is ronronear. Ronronear.
What? Okay.
Ronronear.
Ronronear.
Yes.
Ronronear.
Yes.
Okay. Continue. I just needed
Let me I'll play it better so you can hear it better.
Oh, thank you.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Ronronear, ro, ne, ar.
Hey. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Okay. So, is it A, to hiss, B, to purr, C, to growl? One more time.
One more time. please.
Ronronear, ron, ro, ne, ar.
And what were the options again, please? One more time.
A, to hiss, B, to purr, C, to growl.
I'm going to say B.
To purr.
That is my final answer.
Hey! This is the clap, the sound clap sound. And then hold on, I'm gonna do this. Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, no lo siento.
But yes, ronronear means to purr.
Wow. Educated guess. 'Cause I had no
Educated
idea.
guess, right?
That's a great word.
That's a good one, huh?
Yeah. Wow.
Actually,
Good
if I'm happy
job.
you got that one right, because it was just set up well.
Yeah, I love that. I just with the
yeah.
audio.
Mhm.
Okay. I see you leveling up. Palabra del día.
Palabra del día, presented to you by Sorry No Lo Siento. Once a week, cada semana aquí. You'll never not get Palabra del día. We promise you guys. No matter if it's a 3-hour episode, 4-hour episode, we're going to sneak in Palabra del día at the end.
Palabra del día.
Yeah. But mija, today has been regardless, I want to say thank you first of all for watching the show and just doing what watching it as much as you can, doing it how you want. You got through it however you got through it, but I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You contributed to the conversation. We're on two separate sides of the spectrum, but that's fine. And we will never have to do this Plática again. And I could tell your energy wasn't really in it from the beginning. You're kind of like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's get it over with.
Yeah.
But
it was a good conversation, good talking points. So I'm glad that we did it,
I think I honestly my editing mind throughout the whole thing is just like real. There's so many to pick out from this episode.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I look forward to our future pláticas where we highlight an individual and talk about them.
This shouldn't have been the first person, but it makes sense that it's the first person just because of the timing of everything.
Timing of everything.
But and if I would have thought about this like earlier, it probably would have been a different first person. But now we're episode 22. What perfect episode to start this type of thing than a 22 episode, So yeah, more pláticas of people coming up, and more pláticas of people that we admire, that we look up to, that we just enjoy their gifts to the earth, to the world, whether it be music, film, healing, astrology. There's a lot of people that eventually we'll tap in with, guys. Even when we're talking pláticas of real people in real life too. Like, Sorry No Lo Siento is just getting started, you guys. I promise you, we're just getting started. We have so many ideas for this show, but right now we're really enjoying just building it to what we want to build it to. Not even audience wise. I'm saying we're building the show, the IP of this. We're building it to what initially we want to build the show to. Because the show is not how it started. It's a whole different vibe. And at first I was kind of hesitant to start. Like, I wanted to keep it in a certain mold in the beginning, but now it's just like let it go, let it rock. Because it's still Spanglish. It's still us showing up, being us. So
yeah, we're definitely stepping outside of the box. And I'm happy too that aquí estamos.
Aquí estamos, man. We got 22 pláticas you guys can go listen to. 21 of them is, just different topics. 22, this for one episode of a person. So we're going to start giving you guys people. We're going to start giving you guys both. And then eventually guests will get here when they get here. And you guys will really just continue to enjoy our journey. I promise you guys. If you guys are really tapping in, you guys are going to enjoy the level up.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening too.
And continue to share everything, please. Like, sometimes I get mad of I want to say this real quick.
Okay.
I need to stop. I want to eventually we're gonna have the Plática on social media, but I need to stop thinking that I need the likes and the views to validate
what we're doing,
our
and
work,
what you're doing,
our work. Yeah, our work. I need to stop thinking that just because the numbers aren't there, that's it. That we're going down. Like, there's bumps and there's highs and lows Always.
It's riding the wave.
It's riding the wave. And I'm very content, Nicole. I'm very content how we're going. The new things we've implemented behind the scenes to just the production has been amazing. The workflow just seems way more better this way. And I'm happy. I couldn't be more happier than to be doing this with you, Nicole, to be honest.
Thank you. Likewise.
To be honest, man. I could have chose anybody to pod with, and I could have chose someone in my own city again to pod with, but I chose someone that I had a feeling would show up. I thought you would show up every week, and you have. You proved me right. You proved me wrong. Regardless of all the hiccups, regardless of us dealing with engineers or dealing with like the equipment issues and not potting for like a month at one point, and really questioning if this is what we want to do, because it was just a lot of headache, a lot of money being thrown into this, and to ride that all out, Nicole, and just be here right now, it just proves to me like, okay, you just can't give up, no matter how hard it seems, because you're gonna have that moment where it's like you don't see it being worth it. But that's when go ahead.
It's not a race, it's a marathon.
And you constantly remind me of that, because at the end of the day, I'm still human too. I still want to see.
Of course.
I want to see my work continue to elevate. I want to see, like, sometimes it gets discouraging. You put all this work in and you only see 5 likes on something. It gets discouraging, but that doesn't take away that it's a fire video. It don't take away from the fact that it's content, it's real, that your hard work I put into this. You know, so that's why that's where I mess up. So I'm changing that too a little bit. And shout out to the TikTok people, because it eases the IG pain.
Yeah, thank you, TikTok.
The dopamine though you get, huh?
Man, but shout out to the people on TikTok. Thank you for your kind comments, your likes, your shares, for recreating content with us in it. Thank you so much. The love and support over there has been really nice. It's a little bit of a balance to help us deal with, you know, the days that we're feeling a little low. It's all highs and lows, and how you take it, and everything's a lesson. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you to all the TikTok users. I don't know if you guys are the ones that are making the plays go up on the episodes, but we just see, I'm not gonna say like rise, because I want people to think like we see this, like today we're right here and then tomorrow we're up here. No, I'm just saying like
progression.
Yeah, I see the progression. The small progress. I see the plays on the episodes growing. And again, I always say this, and I'm gonna continue to say this. It's just me and Nicole. We don't have no guests. We're not using no help to help us build this brand. People that are showing up and following us because they either like me, they're just supporters of you and I, or they really have grown to like the concept of the show, the reels, whatever it is that made you follow and tap in. We just appreciate that, but that's all us, Nicole. Yes. That's all us showing up every week and just continue to do the work. We haven't banked off any guests. We haven't got any guests on here to try to get followers from, because I did that with Conspiracy. It works. But this means more to me, because people are tuning in and tapping in for what we have to say. And that's so wild to me, Nicole, because it's like, man, we're only 22 episodes in. 22 episodes in, man.
22.
Y'all not ready for merch. Y'all not ready for, live pláticas. Y'all not ready for a lot of things. Like, we're just getting our feet wet. And sometimes, like, look at, like, what, last week or 2 weeks ago, we implemented the stuff behind the scenes, right? It's only been 2 weeks, and in my head, I'm already thinking, like, nah, what can we do different now? What can we start doing? But it's like, bro, like, let this settle. Like, keep writing it out. Like, let it be a little thing. Like, eventually later you can focus on something else. But focus on you. Yeah, like you don't have to. This is my problem too. That I try to make everything happen like right away. Like I see something, and I'm like, no, it needs to be fixed today, tomorrow, before the next episode. And it's like, bro, like eventually it's all gonna get better and easier. Like, relax, just chill. So I'm rambling again, but I'm just happy. I'm happy we're here. I'm happy how the episode's been coming now. I'm happy of the work put out. I'm happy all around with our product, Nicole. I'm happy too because people are seeing it. People are seeing it. And I'm having more people in person that are trying to not get close to me. I have people that, like I said in the beginning, people are seeing this now become what it becomes and seeing it work. And they're gonna we're attracting people now. We're the magnet. They're gonna start coming to us because we're the example and they're seeing us. So it's just part of the game. But I'm excited for 2023. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited. Enemy year, but it's all good.
Exciting.
But good sister. Let me see. I didn't even play no music. What am I doing?
So what are you doing?
Okay, before we get out of here, let's give them a little something. And keep it in the same vein. Muchas gracias a todos que están aquí escuchándolos hoy. Soy Cristóbal Ex Mateo. Healing with Nicole.
Hey.
Sorry, no lo siento. Every Tuesday, video every Wednesday. Follow us at Sorry No Lo Siento, Instagram, TikTok, SNLS Pod, Twitter. Por el diablo. All these tunes take me back to like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh, remember how on the episode of music, La Plática de Music, I talked about all my burned CDs and everything like that? I found them, yo. I found my CDs. My Fat Jams. Remember Fat Jams? Volume 1? All the ones that the bootleggers would do?
Yeah.
I found all my old hip-hop mixes. Yo, I was like, no way I found this. That's so wild. Shout out to everyone that likes music, though. Any last words, Nicole?
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes. Share it. Comment. We appreciate you. Hasta la próxima.
Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Los quiero con todo mi corazón. Que Dios me los bendiga, me los cuide.
Hoy, mañana y siempre.
Siempre, man. Ahí los miro para la próxima semana. Adiós, mi gente.
Bye.
Sorry, no lo siento.